taking over. We're taking over YouTube. Something. I don't know this opening that I'm going with, but
hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our review of Victory Road. Impact Wrestling's Victory Road 2020 happened this Saturday. Wait, we're not talking about that show?
No, we're not talking about Victory Road right now. TNA is in the past. Yeah, you guys obviously know Tomas. My friend, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I'm ready to talk about some wrestling. We had a lot of wrestling this weekend, and we had, I think, was a very good show tonight.
Heck yeah. And as you can see clearly, we do have a third voice in the room for this podcast. I'm very excited to have him on. He's a very good friend of mine, extremely knowledgeable about the business. Please welcome the one and only Kris Lash. Kris, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Zack. It's a pleasure to be on your podcast. I'm kind of excited and nervous at the same time.
Hey, it's all good.
Don't be nervous. Man. We're here to have fun.
Oh, yeah. That's what it's all about. And we're not talking about TNA. Don't worry. It's all good. No.
Hey, it was a good show.
Well, maybe we'll save that for yeah, but before we get into the show we're talking about, Kris, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the viewers who might not know you, since this is your first video on the channel.
All right. I am Kris Lash. I am from California. I met Zack through college and friends. We are theater people and performers. I actually have trained slightly in wrestling. I took a stab at it. I'm continuing to train on weekends and when I have time. I like the business. I like how it works. I like how to break it down. I can't wait to get into it.
Heck yeah, man. Let's do it. And also, like, when I admitted Tomas into the room, he made a really... It's a comment that I can't unsee. He said, Zack, I didn't know you were friends with Kyle O'Reilly. And I was like...
And he shared half of the last name of the current reigning United States champion, the greatest wrestler in the world, Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. Oh my God, Kris Lashley.
Looks like I'm gonna have a lot of controversial opinions.
I have to use Lashley's name in like the WWE games because it's the closest thing to my last
name. Creative
comes Lashley. Wait, that looks nothing like Bobby Lashley.
That's not Bobby Lashley, no. But, yeah, current United States champion was nowhere to be found on this show because obviously we're talking about NXT TakeOver 31, the most unoriginal name for a takeover, I think, ever. But
well,
I mean, it is...
when you can't travel right now,
yeah,
you can't really have names for them.
I mean, you could
think about it. It's like WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania 31, but that's like, like that's almost like the Super Bowl. Like you're counting, like, every year you count like what number Super Bowl it is because it's a big anniversary thing. But like the TakeOver, there's like 4 or 5 of them in a year, so it's like,
yeah, and I feel like takeovers are now starting to become as common as WWE pay-per-views. I don't know how I feel about that, but I feel like tonight's TakeOver was very special because NXT basically got their own version of the Thunderdome. And it looks beautiful, and it looks very nice. And you know what? I'm just going to say this right now. It's shit like that that keeps me going right now.
Yeah.
Seeing pro wrestling, being able to be in such a venue where the fans can still watch and there can still be somewhat of a live crowd. That's the shit that keeps me going right now. I just got to say that.
Absolutely. What do you think of that new arena, Kris?
I liked it. I liked the steel fence around the glass. That was a new, nice addition, especially since they interacted with it in a few matches. I think it was Kushida and Dream match. One of them went off of that thing hard, and it was great. I liked it.
Oh, yeah.
They were, that's one thing that I was really enjoying, like, about the Performance Center shows, especially, like, as the pandemic was going on. They have these hockey walls at ringside, and, like, sometimes I'll watch the Sharks games. I'm not, like, an avid hockey follower, but, like, I always loved when they, like, crash into the walls, and I was like, okay, yeah. But I feel like with the chain link around the ring, it intensifies, like, way more. Like,
it gave it a hardcore look to it, and I like how they like blacked it out more. Like it made the arena darker and more like intimate, and intense. It made it more intense.
Yeah.
And with the crowd around the ring, with the chain link fence, with the plexiglass, there's a lot of banging, there's a lot of rattling. It helps. It's something that, I'm glad is not going to go away because it helps a lot. In the match, crowd participation. Oh, yeah.
The feel tonight is Thunderdome to me. That feel is Thunderdome.
That is the true Thunderdome.
Banging, that animalistic 2-man enter, 1-man leaves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
totally. Thunderdome.
Yeah. It's
remind me. I know it's in Washington, but what is it called? I know it's brand new. You guys remember what it was called? What the official center is called?
Oh, it's the Capitol Wrestling Center. I don't think it's in. I don't think it's in Washington D.C. though. I think it's actually like relatively close to the Performance Center because, Florida.
You know what? I just gotta say this right now. Also, I bet the wrestlers, every single wrestler right now, is sick and tired of Florida.
Probably.
And they're probably just waiting to get the hell out of there.
Oh man, I bet you they can't wait for WrestleMania in LA, which is probably going to be WrestleMania 38.
Excited because I thought they mentioned, and when they said it was Washington, I got excited because I was like, oh, finally, no more Florida. I'm sick of Florida. Anywho, it's still a great venue, and I honestly had no idea they were doing this tonight until the pre-show. I haven't really been on the dirt sheets lately, but when they mentioned it, I was like, okay, this looks different. And when they showed it, I was like, oh, it kind of looks similar. But when they revealed the screens and they revealed the people and they revealed everything else, like, that's cool.
It looks
it's
so
gonna be
good.
A good show tonight.
Looked so good. And also on commentary, you have Big Joseph, who I think is probably the best play-by-play man in the WWE right now, along with Beth Phoenix and Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett. Oh, God. I was so happy to hear
Love
his
that
voice.
man on commentary.
He is a color commentator that actually provides insight and isn't annoying. Like,
oh, my gosh. I love Wade Barrett right now. But I got to say, speaking of commentary, who the hell was that sitting at ringside? Because I know Beth Phoenix is doing commentary remotely, and I believe Wade Barrett was tonight too, because Vic Joseph was the only one on screen. Who the hell was that sitting next to them?
I don't know.
That sure as hell was not Beth Phoenix.
Potential. I thought it was the Spanish announcers. It could be potential like other announcers.
Okay, that makes
all
a lot
I know
more
is that
sense.
they weren't social distancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think, well, like I said, Beth Phoenix has been doing commentary remotely since this all started. And I know Wade Barrett is there sometimes, but tonight he was not.
Yeah. Wade Barrett's usually there in the flesh. But, I mean, like, just listening to, like, his insight, I'm just like, that's what I want color commentary to be. Not like Corey Graves, like, whining about all the heels, Like,
well, okay. Corey is a gimmick commentator. He understands his niche. He has that kind of, he knows he can get under people's skin. If you know you have that skill, The Miz has that skill.
Jerry Lawler.
Like, if you have that skill to get under the people's skin, use it. And he does that. He's a gimmick commentator because he wants to be, because that's what the fans are getting.
Also, considering Corey Graves' outside life, and a lot of fans aren't a big fan of him personally, he's probably taking advantage of that. Like, hey, if they don't want to like me in real life, I will give them a reason to not like me.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, man. I mean, I was really, really happy to hear Wade Barrett on a WWE program again, because I love the guy. He's great. I mean, his Bad News Barrett gimmick, I think, is just one of the most underrated gimmicks of the 2010s for sure. Definitely happy to have him back. And I was happy to see this being the first match on this show, getting into the actual action here. Was there, before we do though, was there a match on the kickoff? Because I missed the kickoff.
There was not, actually. No, I didn't realize that until 20 minutes in. And I think they wanted to make the reveal, a bigger surprise. And I think that's why they didn't do a kickoff. Also, there was no really a match to have on the kickoff, unless they wanted to throw like a Bronson Reed, Austin Theory. But I was okay with no pre-show match.
Yeah.
Most NXT takeovers that I've watched, they don't really have pre-show matches like the main roster does, because they don't have that many feuds going at one time.
Yeah.
So they just try and stick it all on the main card to lengthen the actual pay-per-view.
For sure. Yeah, I think I was asking because I remember there was like a triple threat match on the Takeover kickoff like before SummerSlam. But
Yeah. That was one of the rare instances where there was. But honestly, I didn't notice until like 20 minutes in that there wasn't going to be one.
for sure.
But like you said, we are kicking off the show with NXT North American Championship is on the line as Damian Priest is defending against Zack's favorite wrestler, Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, baby. Johnny Gargano. I love that man. I mean, see, here's the thing. This was not a bad match, honestly. This was actually a very good match.
Damn good match. It was my match of the night, to jump the gun, honestly.
Really?
This was the match of the night. The crowd was hot. You could tell with that environment, it was going to inject more life into the wrestlers. Because just hearing any sort of crowd reaction, any sort of that was going to keep them going. And honestly, Gargano and Priest, I think they knocked it out of the park tonight.
I agree. I think it was a very good show opener. They were booked really well at the start of the show. Gargano and Priest both are phenomenal athletes that know how to get the crowd pumping. I liked they started the match with the usual like big guy, little guy tactics, but then further on, Gargano just was mopping the floor with Priest a little bit, and like it got rid of the big guy dynamic, and I don't know how I felt about it.
Yeah, that was actually I agree with you guys. I mean, the match was definitely extremely well worked. I mean, Gargano starts mopping the floor with Damian Priest, though. The little guy is working over the big guy's leg. I think that was honestly my biggest problem with this match. I think the heel-face alignments should be switched at this point. Like, if Damian Priest was the badass heel, and Johnny Gargano is just such a natural babyface. I mean, he's a very entertaining heel. But, like, at this point... I agree. Like...
But this is his second go-around as a heel. I think Gargano is handling it a lot better than the first time. Mm-hmm. And especially when you throw Candice LeRae in the mix, as we'll talk about later with her match with Io Shirai. I think Gargano is working heel very well. I will agree that Damian Priest as a babyface is a little odd. I hope this isn't a permanent babyface turn. I hope he is at least a tweener, because we saw what he can do with Bronson Reed, kind of picking on him because he's the bigger guy and how he is more of a natural heel. But as a tweener here, I think Priest worked well as a babyface. For this feud, I honestly would prefer if Priest was a heel.
So to your tweener note, I think he was like going back and forth in the match, because I saw some heel tactics out of Priest in the beginning, because it was a little bit back and forth in the beginning, but Gargano was playing the little guy, which is usually a face gimmick, and then on that move where he like pulled Damian off the apron and like he slammed him to the ground really hard in the beginning of the match, that's when it switched and Priest started to go face.
Oh yeah. Oh, especially with the heat portion, Gargano was working that heel gimmick really well with Priest, I believe.
Yeah. Johnny definitely sweeps the leg on the apron and made me think he was part of the Cobra Kai dojo. But anyway, not to get too into that little reference, but there was a razor's edge on the apron by Damian Priest, and that made me really cringe.
I like that. I like that so much when I saw it. It was
beautiful move.
It was a beautiful bump. He landed perfectly. Oh, it was so great. I loved the razor's edge on the apron.
Yeah, I wrote down razor's edge on the apron, 2 counts. WTF. I think that should have been the ending.
Yeah.
Like,
but the ending of itself was really good.
Yes.
Was it though?
The ending of the match?
The Reckoning, he spiked Gargano pretty hard on the mat.
Oh my God. I loved his chokeslam. What was it called?
The one-handed chokeslam into the powerbomb.
It's called the, let's see, where is it? It says, they called it the Sound from the Heavens.
Oh, yes. That's a beautiful name.
It's glorious. Well, I think it's called South of Heaven.
South of Heaven. Oh,
It's a
well,
beautiful
that would probably
That's a
make more
beautiful
sense. Yeah. Yes.
But there was a spot also, they were teasing the steel steps. And I think that made me
Yeah.
realize this is not the first time Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest have worked a match. I think they worked a match on NXT where their gimmick too was Priest was trying to Razor's Edge Gargano onto the steel steps.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
and
So they were referencing that again, but they never visited those steel steps again. Because I think if you did that move onto the steel steps from a height, you would have broken Gargano's neck.
Yeah, like the steel steps do not come into the finish of the match at all. Like Johnny Gargano sets it up on the outside and like they're teasing it, but they don't use it. And also you guys are completely skipping over something that really, really pissed me off. There was a big like somersault plancha by Damian Priest, and Johnny Gargano pulls two security guards in the way. And
I
Damian
was actually about to bring
yes,
up that
yes.
spot. The planned spot with the security.
Oh, that was so awesome. Brought me right back to WrestleMania 25 all over again. So Priest
That
hits
was
that.
great,
Undertaker?
and also how Gargano used that as an opportunity to low blow
Yes.
Priest, throw him into the ring, hit him with the super kick, which I like to call fatality, because when you used to do it with Tomaso Ciampa, that's when you straight up finished your opponent.
Yeah.
Hit him with the fatality super kick and went for the pin. And Drake Wirtz did that beautiful thing where he leaps into the count. 1, 2, Priest kicks out.
A Priest should not have kicked out right there. That should have been the finish. Johnny Gargano
And
should have
here's the
won.
thing.
No. Priest
No.
should have won.
Priest
You think
just
so?
won the title. They just put the title on him. If they
Agreed.
want to build him as a good champion and as a good star, I'm sorry, you can't beat him in his first defense a month after. I'm sorry, someone like Gargano, who has held the title before, who has been there before, who really does not need to be established anymore. I think Priest had more to prove in this match, kayfabe-wise, than Gargano
Yeah.
did. Gargano can afford a loss.
For sure.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go into this like little rant right now. Johnny Gargano has been a heel pretty much since TakeOver Portland, about 8 months now, right? His only big win, really, on a big special event was over Tomaso Ciampa in one final beat. Like, he goes through his plan, the Johnny Gargano way. He takes Priest to Dick Kick City. He hits the DIY finisher on him, and he doesn't beat him. His plan doesn't work. Like, shouldn't his plan
Well, that's
work at some point?
also either it's just NXT logic where everyone's got to kick out of their finisher, or it's just Priest was just that much stronger. He was able to overcome the Gargano way.
Everybody's been able to overcome the Johnny Gargano way.
Gargano will get bigger wins as a heel. And, maybe this is a sign that maybe it's finally time to call Gargano up. I know rosters are kind of worn thin right now, so you don't want to take too many big stars from one show and put them on the other, unless you're Raw and you completely want to liquidate SmackDown's roster just for the hell of it. But
yeah,
I do get what you're saying, but I Gargano will get bigger wins. I just don't think this was Priest's night to really shine. It was his second defense. I'm sorry. He defended against Timothy Thatcher, but this was his first TakeOver defense. And I think Gargano needed to put Priest over.
I agree. I think Priest needed the win because he just got the title. And Gargano, like you said, his resume, he's got good things on his resume already.
Yeah.
I don't think he's getting called up because he is NXT. Him and his wife Candice are NXT through and through. I doubt they're getting called up for a while. Because I guarantee you, if Vince even comes to them like, "Hey, want to come?" They're gonna be like, "Not yet."
There was that rumor last year that Tomaso Ciampa said, if they try to move me to Raw or SmackDown, I would rather quit wrestling than leave NXT.
Yeah. That's a really great point. I mean, I don't know. This isn't because I'm just a mark for the guy, but like, I feel like if he's a heel and he has a plan, I feel like at some point the plan should work. I totally get what you're saying about this being Priest's first title defense and like him needing to build that up and to have a longer reign for sure. I've ranted about short reigns on this channel plenty. I
don't think any of us are fans of short title reigns.
No, yeah, Hulk Hogan, 2002.
Some of them.
Yeah.
I'm okay with some short reigns depending on who holds the belt.
Exactly. Yeah. It really, really, really depends.
Yeah.
That's like
Uh,
if I would be upset if Seth Rollins beat Drew McIntyre back in Money in the Bank. That wouldn't have made any sense.
No.
And in a sense, think of Damian Priest like Apollo Crews. You know, they put the title on Apollo Crews and they needed to make him look strong throughout the summer. So you need to make Priest look strong too. You need to give him some big wins.
Yeah,
True.
for sure. But as
Like-
far as the match goes, I mean, yeah. So Priest basically pins Gargano after he blocks one final beat, and then he hits the Reckoning out of nowhere for the 3. I wrote down he hit the Reckoning out of nowhere for the 3. Bullshit. That's what I wrote down.
Yeah.
I gave the
Priest needed the win.
Yeah.
It got 4.25 stars for me. This was my match of the night.
Okay. For sure.
It didn't quite come out of nowhere. If you saw where Priest had him, it was a grapple kind of switch to get him into that. It was a move. To me, it didn't feel like it was out of nowhere. He and Gargano planned that spot. You could
Totally.
tell.
It was a great counter.
It was a
sure.
solid match between the two, though. And
Yeah.
honestly, again, you could tell the adrenaline was pumping between those two. They're in a brand new area to wrestle. They can finally get some sort of crowd interaction, and that's going to keep them going, a lot more than if there's one thing I'm going to credit all professional wrestlers throughout this entire pandemic is that they have adapted to everything and anything. But you got to admit, if they're going to get some sort of crowd interaction back, they're going to ride on that. They're going to ride on that adrenaline.
Totally. I gave the match 3 3/4 stars out of 5 personally. It's a great match, but the steel steps did not play into the finish at all, even though they did a bunch of setup and like
Before we move on from that, I wanna
yeah.
So there are 2 things that I want to say about the steps. So one, in the world of wrestling, it's an untold rule from what I was taught. If you introduce it, you get hit with it.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Think about it. Think about the matches you've seen. Who, if you pull out the chair and they're like, yeah, let's go, who gets hit with it first?
The person who has the chair. Kurt Angle and Edge. Backlash.
So,
Yep.
Kurt Angle hitting himself with the chair.
Gargano pulled the stairs. So you knew he was going to get hit with the stairs, but it didn't happen.
No.
So did they forget the spot, or did they just want to move the match along and they said, nix it?
That's a good point.
I don't know.
Honestly,
I don't know,
a point
man.
I've never thought of before.
Yeah, that's I don't know, man.
I feel like we're off.
Yeah. Yeah, he's blowing my mind here, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Gargano is just such a natural baby face. I think he's great. He's entertaining as a heel right now and he's running with it. But he's just such a natural babyface that him against the much larger guy in Damian Priest. It's very similar to when you and I, Tomas, talked about Kane versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. It just kind of felt a little off kilter a little bit to have the smaller guy be the heel in that regard.
I do agree with you that Johnny Gargano does have that Daniel Bryan aura from him, that he's a natural babyface through and through. But at least I will say Gargano's second heel run is a lot better than his first one. Because the first time around, it was so forced. It was so stupid. I didn't like how him and Ciampa basically flipped sides. And it just felt really forced. At least this time around, he's got something to work with.
Yeah, for sure.
They didn't turn him heel just for the sake of turning him heel.
Yeah, totally. But any other thoughts about this match? Kris, do you have a rating for it?
Yes, a few thoughts. Damian Priest has a wicked freaking right jab. I love the freaking snap that he does with his jab.
Oh, yeah.
My God, that has a good pop.
Oh, yeah.
So I gave match ratings and then also individual ratings.
Oh, okay. All right.
Interesting.
So I gave the match 3 3/4.
Okay.
But I gave Gargano a 4 and I gave Priest a 3.
Okay.
Ah.
So you think Gargano carried this match?
A little bit, only due to skill and experience. But okay, I'm a little biased. I haven't been a fan of Damian Priest / Punishment Martinez.
Okay.
I haven't been a fan of his. To me, he's a little clumsy.
His work in NXT, you got to say, is a lot better than his work in Ring of
Yes.
Honor.
Yes, he has
Yeah.
improved, and I want to say that's because of the coaching at WWE. They got some top-notch coaches.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no. I enjoyed the match. Even though Priest got the lower score, I still predicted him to go over because of him just getting the title and Gargano being the heel and all that. So I knew he was going over.
Yeah.
And with the fact that his wife was challenging for the women's championship, you knew either both of them are winning or neither of them are winning. They weren't going to
Yeah.
have just one of them have a title.
I was so on board with them winning both titles, but I mean, obviously that didn't happen. Spoiler alert. But anyway, yeah. Great first match. Next up, we have a really, really fun first time ever match, actually. The Velveteen Dream on TakeOver once again against Kushida.
Now, first thing I'm going to say about this match, I'm surprised this match was on the show because they have not done jack shit with Kushida since they signed him. I understand he got injured for a bit, but it's like they remembered, oh, we have Kushida on our freaking roster. Maybe we'll use him.
Yeah.
Well, you have to remember, Kushida is a 6-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. He is a top-notch performer. He's not just like this freshman coming in on his first day of class. He knows his way around a ring.
No. Yeah, he did not come in.
That, remember?
Yeah, he did not come in on a hoverboard like Marty McFly, but Velveteen Dream did come out dressed as Doc Brown, which I marked out for.
I love the gear. I loved his gear. But even though, did you see the spray paint for his hair got all over his face?
Oh, yeah.
It was very
controversial
theater-esque.
opinion coming through. I know we all hate Velveteen Dream the person, but I'm sorry I cannot hate Velveteen Dream the wrestler. I can't.
No.
Oh, he's such a good performer. He's
damn good.
A good performer. I don't understand it. And so I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Kushida a heel now?
That's a great question that we will get into.
So aggressive during this match.
Yeah.
He was. I like to think of it as Velveteen Dream awoke something in Kushida because, like I said, they haven't really done anything with Kushida since he's come up to NXT. And this feud was kind of like what they did with Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy. Maybe Velveteen Dream was the fire that needed to get lit under Kushida to make him freaking remember that he's Kushida.
Yeah.
And they're not about to send his ass to 205 Live. Adeo Tommy.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. But yeah, so Kushida basically I just work. Oh man, this is so much fun. So Kushida, yeah, they played up the gimmick of him being a lot more aggressive. He attacks Velveteen Dream during his entrance. He doesn't even let him finish.
I like that run-in. From the promo, the promo they ran right before the match, like they always do, to hype the match up. That led right into the run-in. I think that was seamless. That was perfect. The run-in was really well planned.
Oh, it was so good. And Velveteen Dream was bumping like crazy for this guy, and he was selling it so well.
Okay, and like we said about Corey Graves, you know, Dream knows he's not very well liked right now in the world, so he's taking advantage of that big time. Mm-hmm. And as you were saying, Kris,
it's just the bump. I know I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but you reminded me because of the bump. The bump they took off the top when he had him in the arm submission. I did not like that. That looked dangerous. That could have snapped Dream's arm. That could have been dangerous.
Yeah.
I did not like that bump.
I agree. That did not look
agreed.
Safe, but damn, did that look cool. Like, I would be...
Oh, yeah, it takes a lot of athleticism on both of them.
My goodness, where was that? That was like... Oh, I wrote down a Dream quote, by the way, real quick. He says, "Come on, Marty. Get up, Marty."
Yeah.
I know. I heard that. I was like, amazing.
And Dream hits a Bronco Buster also, and I'm like, why are you doing that? You're not X-Pac.
Shout out to my homie Sean Waltman.
So Kushida slapping Velveteen Dream into the next decade in the beginning of the match.
Yeah.
Ow.
God.
Ouch indeed.
That
Speaking of
wasn't-
kicking out of
That wasn't like
finishers, Kushida kicked out of the Purple Rainmaker elbow.
Yeah, this match was
Which-
extremely stiff. Like,
Oh yeah.
Velveteen Dream.
strong style.
Oh yeah, totally. The strong style, absolutely, yeah. But nice. There was a really nice counter. Kushida was going for the handspring elbow at one point, and Dream hit a beautiful counter into a sleeper hold.
I love
I
that
say?
sleeper.
Dare I
love
say?
that sleeper.
Is it the $1 Million Dream?
Oh, logging. off.
No. I was waiting hours to make that joke.
It was nice being on the podcast. Thank you guys.
No. But yeah, so Kushida was also hitting Daniel Bryan foot stomps on Velveteen Dream. Like, you know how Daniel Bryan grabs his opponent's arms and he's just like, like,
The cattle mutilation.
it wasn't exactly cattle mutilation. It was like, he was grabbing Velveteen Dream's arms, he's about to do a ring around the rosy. Velveteen Dream's on the floor and he's kicking Velveteen Dream in the face.
So
Okay, yeah, that is.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I
It's
remember
like
it.
Daniel Bryan's cattle mutilation, but not
a submission.
concussion-inducing. Yeah,
Not a submission.
yeah.
Did I think I remember where that was, and he had him in a submission before the kicks, right?
Yeah, he might have had him in the hoverboard lock at that point.
So I don't know if it was only me that was paying attention to that detail, but did you guys notice Velveteen helped Kushida because his arm was too long, so Velveteen met him with his arm for the submission?
Yes.
Such a good worker.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, getting to the end of the match, kind of jumping ahead. Purple Rainmaker connects. Dream is selling the arm. To your point, Tomas, 2 count. Hard clotheslines. Purple Rainmaker attempt, and he hits it, but Kushida Kushida actually met him on top. And to that point at the end of the match, Kris, it was the Spanish Fly with Kushida having him in the hoverboard lock, which was scary. And he gets the hoverboard lock on, and Dream taps out after being in the hold for.
And I love that whole sequence because Kushida had the hoverboard lock on the entire time, and no matter what Dream did, Kushida was still hooking it on. And I feel like Dream tapping out was the signal of he's not going to let go of this no matter what I do to him. So I'm going to tap out now.
Oh yeah, no, he immediately tapped out after the Spanish Fly. As soon as they hit the mat, he was like, done.
Yeah. Great finish.
And not in. I am unironically saying this now. The finish of this and the post-match beatdown of Kushida attacking Dream did remind me of Victory Road last night because Deonna Purrazzo did defeat Susie for the Knockouts title. And after the match, they did something similar where basically Purrazzo snapped both of her arms and put her in the same exact submission hold.
Yeah.
So this weekend has definitely been a lot of arm-breaking submission holds for wrestlers.
Lots of arm snapping on this show. It was weird.
Well,
lots of joint manipulation.
Bending Dream's arms back like that did remind me of the Knockouts title match last night.
So much joint manipulation. I don't know what it was, but I gave the match 4 stars out of 5. This was the match I actually had the most fun watching on the entire show, believe it or not. Stiff, great selling, really cool moves throughout. Big congrats to Kushida on his first TakeOver match being a success because he deserves this spotlight.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Kushida
3.5 stars for me. It was, definitely a very fun match, and I was just so shocked that Kushida won. This was definitely the weekend, again, comparing both shows, the weekend of upsets. And I like upsets. There needs to be more upsets. Last night, Trey Miguel beat Moose, and I feel like there's not enough upsets in wrestling. Why are you going to make me invested in a guy if they're just going to, be believed to lose all the time? So Kushida beating Dream in this big stage, there needs to be more of that WWE. There needs to be more of that pro wrestling. Looking at you, AEW, that just feeds everyone to Chris Jericho. What? Did I just say that?
But if the big guys beat all the little guys, then who would go for the cruiserweights?
Gotta put over that cruiserweight title. Can't wait to
Oh
talk
yeah,
about that match.
yeah, for sure,
I love being 5'10" and under 200 pounds in the wrestling world.
Like the NXT champion is. Anyway, Kris, thoughts on Kushida Dream?
I really liked the match. Honestly, it had a street fight feel because of the gear they were both wearing. Because it was ground and pound and gritty, and they were just on each other. It was strong style, hard hits. Like, it wasn't slow, but it was like this methodical, brute kind of pace that they just lit into each other, just hit after hit, and like.
Yeah.
I really appreciated the storytelling. Dream,
Oh yeah,
you know Dream is a storyteller. He's done it before under the big lights several times. He's a storyteller. Kushida is a storyteller as well, but he's small. He's small, but like he was just there with Dream tonight. In my opinion, if possible, match of the night for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. And I'm glad you brought up the storytelling aspect, because Velveteen Dream's storytelling is the reason why him versus Aleister Black is definitely top 5 NXT matches.
It is my favorite NXT match.
That is a
Velveteen
damn good
Dream
one.
And Aleister Black at War Games is my favorite NXT match.
Oh,
it is
so good.
Understandably
glorious.
so. It's definitely up there for me. It's definitely top 3 up there for me.
The whole goal.
Say my name.
Yeah.
Black match done.
Say my name, and Aleister Black ends up saying his name afterwards.
Oh yeah, that was the best part about it.
It was beautiful.
Like I said it once, I will say it again. I may not be a huge fan of Patrick Clark, the human being, but the Velveteen Dream is a damn good worker, and I cannot deny that.
Yeah.
I have a gripe about the ref in the Kushida Dream match. So as a ref, I was learning reffing stuff.
Okay.
You were supposed to be invisible as a ref. Don't be seen unless don't be seen unless you're doing the 1, 2, 3, or you're counting.
Okay.
You got to kind of hide. I saw the ref a lot. He was by the wrestlers all the time. You kind of want to give them a little space so they can work, but he was like on top of them a lot. He touched Dream several times. As a ref, you do not touch them unless you're pulling them off in the corner.
Interesting indeed.
So
yeah.
I saw
I might have to look back
at
that. Huh.
Yeah, the refs are
Giving me a reason to go back and watch the show.
Yeah. yeah, totally. I kind of want to go back and watch that match right now. Rating, Kris?
4 1/4. 4
1/4. Okay, nice. Yeah, that's a man. Yeah, honestly, if any of my viewers that have watched the show thought this was the match of the night, like, I honestly would not blame you. This was excellent. I mean, I was very close to making this my match of the night, but we'll talk about that when we get there.
So there were a few that I spotted throughout the night, but did you guys catch the obvious spot call in this match? It was like right before the eye poke.
No.
So they were in the corner, and Dream you could see Dream tell Kushida something in the ear before he whipped him out of the corner.
Yeah, there was an eye poke in this match. What is it with going after people's eyes, WWE? The eye for an eye match is fun.
Okay, listen. If you are a heel, stereotype heel stuff works. If you know it annoys people, do it.
God.
Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell. Eye for an eye match.
Dude, like, tear the poster. Literally, stereotypical heel stuff. It's annoying because it works.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, think about it. You watch it all the time. Everyone does it. It's annoying. You hate it. You hate the guy for doing it. It's working.
They're doing their job.
Yeah.
They're
doing their job, eye for an eye, just that. Anytime someone gouges someone's eyes, that's all I think of is the horror show at Extreme Rules.
So,
yes.
was the Cruiserweight title match next, or was it the announcement for the next special event?
It was the announcement, and I know you wanted to talk about this, Tomas. The Halloween.
Okay, they announced. Okay, so they did this vignette, and it was kind of cheesy, not gonna lie, of just a haunted house, and Shotzi Blackheart did a jump scare. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cheesy. But they announced that NXT is bringing back Halloween Havoc. A few nights before Halloween, it's going to be on the 28th, and it's going to be hosted by Shotzi Blackheart. The reason why I want to get into this, before anyone expects, no, she's not like my bestie, and I've only met her once. But going to a lot of wrestling shows in the NorCal area, I have seen her wrestle a couple of times, and I have followed her personal social media accounts, and she is the biggest Halloween fan in the world. She loves monsters. She loves horror movies, all that classic stuff. So when I saw that, I just thought she probably pooped her pants in excitement when they asked her to host Halloween Havoc. That's probably like her dream come true. Her two favorite things in the world that she gets to do. So I just thought that was really cool when they pointed that out.
Is she hurt right now? Why is she hosting?
I don't know. I think just because it's a Halloween themed thing. I don't think she's hurt. I know Tegan Knox is hurt, and I'm very annoyed about that. Torn ACL.
ACL again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was upset.
Is it left knee or right knee this time?
I don't think they specified, but I was just so frustrated for her because that's her third torn ACL, and that's just got to be so frustrating.
It is, yeah. Hopefully, she honestly recovery.
Yeah,
I hope so too. I hope this third time's the charm. Last one, best one. Let's get it out the way and get back in the ring, bro. Let's go.
Triple H and Kevin Nash want to talk about their torn quads. I want Tegan Knox to throw her knee braces at them and say, "Fucking amateurs."
I need my Lady Kane back. Let's go.
Yeah, yes. Lady Kane, we need you back. Yeah. But
anywho, I just wanted to point that out about Shotzi Blackheart because I'm sure she's stoked to do that.
I'm stoked to watch
because she used to host
Havoc.
she used to host Halloween themed monster movie parties in Oakland. I'd always see them advertised. So again, she probably crapped herself in excitement when she got asked to host Halloween Havoc.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Before we forget, Dream, the way he lost, the attack after, could this potentially lead to him being called up due to the draft being later this week?
You know what?
That is a very good possibility, and if he does, I hope he goes to SmackDown because Raw does not need any more stars.
I do too. I think he'd do a lot better. His character would be a lot better on SmackDown.
Yeah,
we thought that Keith Lee was going to go to SmackDown, and we were wrong. So
yeah.
Hopefully we get this one right.
I think Keith Lee's going to get drafted to SmackDown.
You think so?
I hope so because I just feel like
I think so.
I think there's just too many stars on Raw right now. And I feel like there's no room right now for Keith Lee, at least right now, to be contending for a world title. I personally want him to go for the United States title because I just think him versus the Hurt Business would be perfect. MVP could try to recruit him. He could say no, all that fun stuff. And if WWE is continuing with their theme of keeping the United States Championship picture exclusively black, I think Keith Lee is the perfect next opponent for Bobby Lashley. No more Apollo Crews.
I would love to see Bobby Lashley versus Keith Lee. I'd love to see Bobby Lashley versus Ricochet personally, because Ricochet is just criminally underutilized on the main roster. But I don't know. We'll see how the draft shakes up. It's
going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For sure. I know AJ Styles is probably moving to Raw, but yeah. Next up, we got what, Tomas?
Next up is a match that wanted to be my match of the night. I really did. Santos Escobar defending the NXT Cruiserweight Championship against Isaiah Swerve Scott. I thought this match was very solid. I thought the storytelling was also very good. I love Isaiah Scott. I love Santos Escobar. And that video package they were showing, I just love how this whole storyline has built up. And just to get this rant out of the way now, The finish, I'm not okay. I am upset that Isaiah Scott did not win because I feel like this was his night to win and this was his night to go over. But I do understand keeping the title on Escobar because he is a very strong heel, and I wouldn't mind seeing him dominate a little longer. My issue with the match was the finish, and I thought the finish was just so weak to such a strong match.
This was a damn good match. I've always thought Isaiah Swerve Scott was so underrated. Kris, do you remember when we went to NXT last year? Do you remember the match that Swerve had with Angel Garza?
Yes, I do. I remember.
That was one of the best matches on that show, easily. And like since then, I've been such a huge believer in Swerve. I've always thought he was super underrated. He's always so like calm, cool, and collected. I love his character. And Santos,
I remember him in Lucha Underground as Shane Strickland.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's very true.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember Shane Strickland. So seeing him get signed to WWE was such a treat. And like I said, if there was a top babyface right now that could take that Cruiserweight title, I just feel like since he got a few shots, this was Isaiah Scott's night to do it. And again, I'm not entirely upset that Escobar retained. It's just the finish was so weak. And there were so many good things in this match.
Yeah.
Even with Legado del Fantasma interfering, and then Ashanti Adonis, which, we'll get into that a little later.
I wrote down
to build a new star.
I wrote down, who is this man evening the odds? Because I've never seen this guy before.
He fought Velveteen Dream a couple weeks ago, and to be fair, I was the same way. I was my reaction too. But then I remembered that's the guy who fought Velveteen Dream a couple weeks ago and actually gave Dream a run for his money.
See, I missed that match.
There was a lot of good stuff in this match. Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff in this match. But yeah, that was my biggest issue with it.
Santos Escobar hits Michael Cole's favorite move at one point in the match. Meteora. Meteora. Like,
we say that's Michael Cole's favorite move is because Cole doesn't call any moves, and the one move he calls out with such enthusiasm on SmackDown is Meteora when Sasha Banks does it. So I swear that's like his favorite move because it's the only move he knows.
Makes sense. Okay, I'm following along.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, this match was damn good. Swerve hit a Rolling Thunder pay dirt on Santos, and I've never seen that move before. It was so slick and so awesome.
Yeah.
Just
not to nitpick too much on this match, but I just remembered they had a promo on NXT last Wednesday where Isaiah, I almost called him Shane Strickland, Isaiah Scott called out Escobar for saying, every single time we have a title match, Legado del Fantasma interferes or you use a loaded mask. Like, why don't you show up and, prove that you're the champion? And in this match, who comes out to interfere? Legado del Fantasma. And I feel like that just proved Isaiah Scott right. And, I know it's a heel thing, like we've been talking about during this podcast, but I just feel like there needs to be that one match where there's no interference. And even though Adonis did come out to even the odds, I feel like this should have been that match.
Yeah,
it's definitely felt overbooked for sure. And
so I agree that it was. I haven't kept up with 205 as much as I should. But I do agree. Isaiah's been going after the title for a while. Tonight was his night. And so I had Escobar going over because he's new-ish with the title. He's only had it for a few months.
Yeah.
Legado del Fantasma is a new stable. They have momentum behind them.
Yes. Yeah.
So this one was a toss-up going into it. Like, it's Isaiah's night, but they have too much momentum.
Yeah, so and that's why I was saying I'm not too upset that Escobar retained. And unfortunately, I know Breezango are transitional champions because I know Legado del Fantasma is going to beat them for those titles. So all three of them can have gold. All three of them are going to have gold.
I agree.
But
I
I definitely agree with what you're saying.
I kind of disagree, actually. My theory about the tag titles is actually, at this point, after they both lose their title matches, I think Gargano and Candice should go after those tag titles. Because Candice has got experience in PWG doing
They
that.
won't do it. They won't do it.
Won't do it?
WWE will never do
No.
intergender matches.
No.
They will
As
never do
much
it.
as that's a great idea, they won't do it. They
I
won't
would
do it.
love to see that, but I don't know. I mean, I won't be
yeah.
upset if Legado
Again.
del Fantasma does it, but
Okay,
We
it's
do agree
not
that it'd
even
be
them.
great, but they won't do it.
It's not even them. It's the networks that tell them they can't do the intergender matches. They don't want to put that on
Right.
TV.
yeah.
Maybe one day in a perfect world we can have that. But right now in the current storyline, I'm just saying Breezango have the titles so Legado del Fantasma can get them because they want Imperium back in NXT UK and they want to keep them there. Imperium just held the titles. You know, they were transitional champions too. We have a couple of transitional tag team champions right now. And I feel like Breezango just have them because they are feuding with Legado del Fantasma. Mendoza and Wild are going to have those titles before you know it. And like you said, it's a new stable. They got to have all the gold. And I do like Legado del Fantasma. I think they're a very strong stable. I just feel like the way this match was being built up tonight, this was Swerve's night. And, you know, they might do it still, but at the same time, you know, it's like Robert Roode winning the TNA title 2 weeks after he should have actually did it. It's like, it's a little too late.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. He should have done it here for sure. But getting into that ending, Santos hits a Phantom Driver for 2, and Vic Joseph actually noted that no one has ever kicked out of the Phantom Driver, which is a great observation. He goes for 3 amigos. He misses the frog splash. Swerve then hits a house call and hits a 450 splash. That should have been the 3 count there, but
that should have been the finish.
yeah, if that was the finish.
There were a lot of spot fests that should have led to pins that didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my biggest issue is the finish. So, okay, they took a page out of a match that literally just happened with Jeff Hardy and Sami Zayn this past week on SmackDown, how Sami Zayn took off the turnbuckle pad at the beginning of the match, and by the end, he used the exposed turnbuckle to win. In the very beginning of this match, Escobar had removed not the turnbuckle pad, but like the other side of the turnbuckle pad, just that one little black slip of felt that no one even brings up. That's taken off for whatever reason. And then they're fighting on the apron, and Escobar kicks Scott over there. And I swear, I thought Scott like lightly tapped his head on the post.
He was too far from it. It didn't look.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
So the commentators,
no.
Yeah, the commentators had to cover up and say, "Oh, he hit his head on the exposed turnbuckle," and I was like, "Wait, what?" And then Escobar hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was miles away from that exposed steel.
He did his best, guys. He did his best.
Yeah.
All right.
And then there was the modified Phantom Driver, and Escobar won. Again, I'm not too entirely upset that Escobar won. Just that finish was so weak. This match only gets 3 stars for me. It could have gotten a better rating, but that ending was just so weak.
So I gave it a 3 as well because of the ending, but I liked how they used the turnbuckle in the beginning. Because I've never seen someone bend the arm like this over the turnbuckle. That one was a new one.
Yeah.
I liked that. I was like, all right, this is innovative offense.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
I was a little bit more generous. I gave the match 3.5 stars. Mostly because, like, you know, I thought the wrestling in this match was super bitchin'. I really liked all the action for sure. I mean, that ending was shit, though. I did not.
I was digging the match probably until the interference. Everything after that, it started to lose steam, and then the ending happened.
The interference.
Usually,
I sorry to cut you off. I didn't mind the interference personally, but it was like
after the interference, the match kind of just, you know. Again, false finish, and then the shitty ending.
Yeah.
And usually when I'm super into a match, and even though the person I don't want to go over doesn't win, I still pop for the ending. I usually give like, Escobar retains. But when that ending happened, I was just like, I didn't react because I was like, are you shitting me? That's how you're going to end this match? It kind of just like
the next match.
Oh, here we go. Let's get into it then. Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae for the women's title. Here we go.
Okay. I really did not like how this match finished at all. I don't think it should have finished how it finished. If you take a title belt to the head, you're done.
Yeah.
You are done.
Wow, this show was
you do not
filled with
kick
false
out,
finishes.
especially if you're this tiny, like 100-pound, like what? No, you take a title belt shot to the head, you're done. You're down to 12. That's it.
Yeah, like the Johnny Gargano way once again fails.
I will say, we talked about in our last NXT podcast that Dakota Kai versus Io Shirai was kind of just there, and the match was good, but it was just there. I feel like this match, even though it had its flaws, it was a lot better, and I enjoyed this match a lot more because it's Candice LeRae. First of all, Io Shirai had a better opponent.
Yes.
She is amazing. She's Mrs. Gargano. She's pint-sized poison. And she's another person that, yeah, she's fantastic as a babyface, but she is making this heel gimmick work. Like,
Yeah.
I hate her guts now, and I love that I hate her guts.
I think she's very similar to Sami Zayn in that regard. Before he turned heel a couple of years back, like he had never been a heel at any point in his career. So I'm sure Candice must have been stoked to explore this side of her character, and I think she's pulling it off really well. Again, like I agree with you though. She is such a natural baby face that it just kind of feels a little off to me still. But
I love how she made that transition from the pint-sized pixie to the pint-sized poison. And it's like that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, but the match was honestly kind of slow, like for some of it. Like Candice was getting the heat.
A little bit.
Like I don't know about you guys. I don't know. That was probably my biggest issue with the match. It kind of slowed down when Candice was like, you know, working over Io, and then Io starts making her comeback, and the match gets really, really good from that point. But
that missile drop kick.
Despite the ending having its flaws, I thought it was fun. The referee gets knocked out by one of Shirai's kicks. And then Johnny Gargano
on the way to the ring.
Johnny with the ref shirt.
Referee shirt. And the first thing I say is, Gargano, putting on a ref shirt does not make you a referee. He goes to the quick count. Shirai kicks out. I don't understand why, because Gargano is not a referee. Shirai probably just has PTSD from seeing Sasha Banks, Asuka, where Bayley did the same thing at Extreme Rules. And, you know, it somehow became canon there. So she probably just thought, oh shit, I better not get counted out, or I'm gonna lose my title, even though Gargano's not a freaking referee.
Right. Yeah.
And the selling from Gargano and LeRae was brilliant.
Gargano,
and when the referee was revived, they start jaw jacking, and the referee's like, "What are you doing? You're wearing my shirt." And Gargano says, "I'm the referee now."
He's like, he stole the referee's own personal shirt.
That's my shirt. Give me my shirt back.
Literally, the referee just like in the give me my shirt now. In the I don't care that there's a match going on. Give me my shirt.
That was funny. Yeah, and to your point,
I made it to a meme now. Gargano saying, "Look at me. I'm the referee now."
God, I'm not gonna pull Captain Phillips down right now, but yeah, Gargano and the referee are arguing with each other, and that's, to your point, Chris, what allowed for the belt shot from Candice LeRae for a 2 count, and just like 2002 Christian, Johnny Gargano throws a tantrum on the outside, and I'm like,
this is great.
This is what Johnny Gargano has come to now. He's throwing tantrums. Like, you know, he was having, like, my favorite NXT match personally unsanctioned against Tommaso Ciampa in New Orleans, and now he's throwing tantrums at ringside. But anyway.
How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, those were the days. The Johnny Gargano way does not work, clearly, is what I wrote down. Io hits a Spanish fly and a beautiful moonsault for a 3 count. Io retains.
Eat your heart out, Christopher Daniels. Io Shirai has the best moonsault ever. Yeah. I said it. I think Io Shirai's moonsault is the best in the business right now.
I don't disagree.
Candice's like makeshift lion salt was really nice though.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the match, she like went from the bottom to the middle and then did a lion salt. I like that. That was nice.
Really cool.
Really
cool.
Oh yeah. Then we get to the ending of this match, which I thought was the most interesting. A little bit clustered, but I'm going to talk about the good, and we're going to talk about the bad. So Io Shirai wins. Also, let's bring up that earlier in the show, or earlier on the kickoff, Rhea Ripley was having a meeting with Triple H and said, "I want the winner of this match." either if it's Io Shirai or Candice LeRae. Rhea Ripley is my favorite wrestler in NXT. And she was robbed at WrestleMania, and I want her to get the NXT Women's title back. So she is definitely on the top of my list of people to fight Io Shirai. After the match, who else but Toni Storm shows up on the screen, who we haven't seen in God knows how long she's been in NXT UK.
I was
and
so happy to see her.
Me too. And Toni Storm says, I'm back. I'm coming for the title. It's Toni time. And then after that, this mystery biker that they've been showing on weeks finally shows up to the arena, and we find out it's Ember Moon, who has been on SmackDown doing nothing, and she is back in NXT now. And I thought that was great. I love Ember Moon. She is Mad Max now for whatever reason, but I think that's great. And okay, let's get into the good first. Number one, this just proves that WWE has the most stacked women's division right now. It's better than AEW. It's better than Impact. They have the stars. They have the stacked women's roster. But on the other hand, you kind of have spread this out a little. You just had Toni Storm kind of return, and then you're going to throw Ember Moon out there, and then you still have Rhea Ripley. You kind of overshadowed Toni Storm's, return by having Ember Moon come out tonight. I feel like they should have either done one or the other, or maybe even just shown a promo of Toni Storm just saying Toni Storm returns to NXT in a couple weeks. I feel like all the attention should have went to Ember Moon.
It was kind of overkill in a lot of ways.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But
in a way, it did show that, women's division is stacked right now.
Yeah, it's a really interesting women's title scene down there in NXT right now. And honestly, I'm a big Toni Storm fan. I was really happy to see her, challenge Io, but I was even happier to see Ember Moon go back down to NXT. And, especially as this new biker character. And Kris and I were kind of talking earlier about who we thought the biker was, too. And Kris, who you thought was the biker?
Did either of you think it was Ember Moon?
No.
So here's the thing. I was doing a little research early in the week because I was trying to prepare myself for the takeover. And I recently found the videos of the biker, and I was reading the comments, and a lot of them were saying it was Bo Dallas that was coming back. I was a little iffy at first. There were some that said it was Ember Moon. In the back of my head, I was like, it could be Ember Moon. The images for the titles were stuck in my head because there were 2 titles in that case. So in my head, I was like, who have been 2-time champions? But
okay. Would you think they were just trying to throw everyone for a swerve and say oh, you don't know if it's gonna be a man or a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I had no idea who that was gonna be.
It kind of similar to how. Sorry to cut you off. It's kind of similar. It kind of makes me think of when they were doing those hype packages for the Spade character, and nobody knew if it was a male or a female, and it ended up being Shayna Baszler.
Good point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this question at you guys right now. How do you guys feel about WWE moving stars that already got moved up to the main roster back to NXT? You think it's good or do you think it's bad?
I really like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they are not being used by that daft old man, sure, send them back to where they will be used.
Yeah.
Good point. I brought this point up to Zack a long time ago when Finn Bálor got moved to NXT. On one hand, I am very happy that they're going to be used in a better setting. But on the other hand, it's just really, you could, on SmackDown, which Finn Bálor and Ember Moon are on, you can't find anything to do for them. Absolutely nothing.
No.
Here's the thing. Think about it. You bring these NXT guys on here. Vince does not pay attention to NXT. He's told people he does not watch it. He does not know these guys, what these guys have done, what they've achieved in his son-in-law's brand.
Yeah.
To him, he's getting kids that are going to go up against his established superstars.
Okay.
So now they're just going to job. They're going to get squash matches. They're not going to do the things because in Vince's mind, oh, you're a child. Bleh. But now you think about it. They get sent back to NXT with the little accomplishes they could hopefully have accomplished while they were on the main roster. U.S. titles, intercontinental titles. Finn Balor is a universal champion.
Correct.
First ever. And now he's on NXT. If I'm on NXT and I see Finn Balor with the title, that's going to make me hungrier. Because if I can beat him, if they trust me to put me over Finn, that means I can go on the main roster and potentially go for a Universal title. If I can go over a past Universal title. So I think NXT right now is the time for the NXT superstars to step up, because now these guys are coming back. They have that main event. They have that main roster experience. They can teach the other guys. They can tell them, this is what's up. This is going to happen when you get to the main roster.
Yes.
And I think in this next couple of years, NXT is going to freaking skyrocket again. It's going to be good.
Oh, I'm excited. This roster is definitely stacked for sure. I'm just blown away right now. But before with all this talk about Finn Balor, we have the main event still to talk about. But in regards to this women's title match, it was fine. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was kind of, I think I liked it more than the Dakota Kai match from TakeOver 30.
Oh yeah.
It was
same.
Fine.
3.5 stars for me. It was a very fun match, and you know what? Despite it being a little overbooked at the end, I thought the Johnny Gargano stuff was hilarious, and I thought they played it off very well. And I did believe for a second that LeRae was going to win the title. Yeah. But we got Toni Storm, we got Candice LeRae, who probably is not done with Io Shirai. We got Rhea Ripley. We have Ember Moon now. We have so many people that could face Io Shirai. And, I'm sticking with my guns. By the time we get to WrestleMania this year again, Rhea Ripley will be the champion again. And God damn it, keep the title on her. She is female Drew McIntyre. Keep the title on her. Please.
They just need to do a 6-pack challenge. Knock them all out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
6-pack challenge, probably.
Without Charlotte Flair.
I would love to see Rhea Ripley actually get called up and win the Raw Women's title and then actually go over Charlotte at WrestleMania properly.
2.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about that empty arena groan fest that Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley had this past year.
I liked the match. It was fine, but
I did too. I didn't like the part where Charlotte Flair made Rhea Ripley tap out.
All right. Yeah. Chris, any more thoughts about this Candice LeRae match?
I gave it a 2. I didn't like the finish. The title belt shot. The title belt shot pissed me off. If you take a title belt shot, you should not kick out. You are unconscious. That is depending on what company you work for, that is a 10 to 20 pound solid piece of metal. You get hit with that. Fair enough. You get hit with that, you're done. You should play dead.
That's a great point for sure. Yeah, 2 stars, man. Wow. But
not happy with that. And
for sure.
What pissed me off even more was as soon as she got hit, she got right back up and had that flurry of moves to end the match.
Yeah, you know what?
Good point.
That's a great point. I'm I kind of want to change my rating now at this point. 3.25 stars. I'll knock it down a little bit.
Hey, you know what? Include me in 3.25 stars.
All right. Cool. Nice.
Main event time.
Yeah, Finn Balor versus Kyle O'Reilly for the NXT Championship. This sounds like a PWG event.
You know what this is the year of? This is the year of people who usually would not main event shows, main eventing shows. And I love it.
I feel that.
Yeah. Kyle O'Reilly, to get here, won something called the Gauntlet Eliminator to earn this shot. And hey, fancy that. It's a match we've never seen before. What a concept, WWE. All these goddamn rematches. I'm so pissed off with this, but
I want to see Andrade and Angel Garza versus the Street Profits.
Yeah, by the way, Kyle O'Reilly comes out for his entrance as the challenger, and he does his air guitar with no championship belt. And I'm like,
I don't know how I feel about it when he doesn't have the belt. I don't know how I feel about it.
It's this is where the title's going, brother.
I have seen backstage videos of Kyle O'Reilly with the NXT Tag Team title tuning it. He thinks it's a guitar, and I love that. He will, with dead-ass serious look on his face, tuning that title belt as if it was a real guitar.
And spoiler alert, by the way, this was actually my favorite match on the show. And what made this my favorite match on the show is actually when Finn Balor was wrenching on Kyle O'Reilly's arm, and he actually plays air guitar as he's wrenching Kyle O'Reilly's arm.
I saw that. That was
great.
such a good.
Yes.
Oh, that was such a good spot.
Two
That
things
was
about Finn Balor
hilarious.
I want to say about this match, in the beginning portion at least. Number one, I was a little disappointed he wasn't Demon King for this show. I feel like it needs to make a comeback at some point. And if you do remember, Demon King is undefeated. At least on the main roster, he's undefeated.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be a nice flair for TakeOver at least. And second, if we're talking about tweeners again, Finn Balor definitely was working heel in this match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was nice. It was nice. I feel like Finn Balor's heel turn never really got off the ground before WWE was just like, oh, no, he's edgy. The fans like edgy. Turn him babyface again. Becky Lynch.
God damn. But yeah, this was a war. This was a freaking war.
They
It was a
went
technical
off on
masterpiece.
each other.
Yeah, they
know that Kyle O'Reilly is such a good technical wrestler when it comes to like submissions and just a methodical wrestling match. It's like they got together and Balor said, like, let's just chain wrestle this thing. It reminded me a lot of Balor and Timothy Thatcher from the last TakeOver, but on such a grander scale.
I liked this match more than the Timothy Thatcher match. I'm sorry. This was like, I feel like in a lot of ways, because Kyle O'Reilly has been someone that's been in the tag team division for the longest time, ever since he debuted with WWE. But a lot of people tend to forget he was a world champion for a really long time in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla specifically.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
he is a damn good professional wrestler in his own right.
Yeah. And in the hype package, they mentioned his accolades in other promotions.
Yep.
Which is great. WWE's relationship with Evolve and Insane Championship Wrestling and Progress, so they can finally start telling these fans, like, hey, I know you've never heard of Walter before, but here's some of his stuff he used to do. Go check him out. These guys are stars before they were stars.
Yeah.
I have an issue with how they do that, though.
Okay.
What's
okay.
that?
Like, yes, they're acknowledging it now, but that they're acknowledging it with companies that they're like buying out.
Exactly. That's exactly the point.
Back in the day, no, it was WWE. That was it. No companies existed. We are it. Now it's like, yeah, they come from here and here and here and here. It's like, okay, you're cool with that because you just freaking bought out the company.
Yeah,
exactly.
WWE owns Evolve. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that Evolve shows are on the network now, but I digress. But it's funny how you mentioned that, because I remember 2005 Ring of Honor, they would advertise WWE and TNA during their shows. So It's just like, why would Ring of Honor be doing that when WWE's not even going to acknowledge their existence?
Yeah, it's dicey, man. But this match, they went out there for about 20 minutes and just beat the fuck out of each other. Like,
it was damn good.
Right, the shot to Riley's lower core right at the beginning that just like made him keel out of nowhere. I was honestly concerned for him for some of the match. He started like bleeding from the mouth.
Yeah, it was a thrust kick. If it was thrown by anyone other than Goldberg, yeah, Kyle O'Reilly would still be able to wrestle. You know, if it was thrown by Goldberg, he probably would have had to retire. But anyway, yeah.
Shots fired.
Kyle O'Reilly hits a Regal Plex. Bálor actually hit a. I think the Big Show often used this as his finisher. It's called the Final Cut.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I thought Goldust uses the Final Cut.
Goldust used it too.
Yeah.
Big Show used it. He also used a variation of it. If you remember the Showstopper leg drop, where he would do that move, but he would, and this, I mean, not to go on rant how much I love Big Show, but Big Show would be able to get that giant leg over the chest and slam it down on his opponent. But it was a variation of that and the Final Cut.
That was what it was called, the Showstopper. I keep getting that and the Final Cut mixed up for some reason. Wade Barrett also, with one of the calls of the night, by the way, he said, "Wait till Finn hits the coup de grace."
Love
Like,
Wade Barrett.
mispronounce his move, why don't you? Sling Blade. If I could talk, Sling
Speaking of
Blade.
mispronouncing moves,
It's been a long day, okay? Sling Blade. Yeah, Finn Balor. Yeah, abdominal stretch. Yeah, that's where I noticed that Kyle O'Reilly was bleeding from the mouth too. But man, they were going submission heavy in this match too. Kyle O'Reilly with like a champagne super knee bar, sharpshooter by Finn Balor, and I like.
so I feel like they kept it slow and on the ground to really emphasize and have Riley's offense shine, because he has that Brazilian jiu-jitsu background. Like he's
Oh yeah.
he's a fighter. He's not a wrestler. He's one of the fighters who came to wrestling. He knows how to actually you up.
Yeah.
So like I love that they emphasize and spotlight his offense and his the way he fought, like the way he knows how to make his opponent look good, the way he knows how to make himself look good. And I love that Finn was like, let's do it. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I said in the beginning, I feel like Finn Balor let Kyle O'Reilly, take control of a lot of this match just to show off. This was more, I mean, and we know Finn Balor is this type of worker, and I was glad to see this match. This was more about Kyle O'Reilly proving that he deserves to be in the main event, and less about, and this was Finn Balor's first NXT title defense, mind you. Mm-hmm. This was more about showcasing O'Reilly more than it was Balor defending his title.
I feel like they're going to build O'Reilly over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
If this is like, this should not be O'Reilly's last opportunity at the title.
Oh yeah. That made sense because I was a little confused seeing Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong starting to team up. I got scared. I was like, oh, please tell me O'Reilly's not hurt again. And then when I saw O'Reilly confront Tommaso Ciampa, I was like, okay, this is going to be a great first feud. But then I saw O'Reilly getting the world title shot. I was like, okay, it's all starting to come together now. And by the way, I still want to see that O'Reilly and Ciampa feud. I think that'd be great to put O'Reilly over as a mega babyface.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Tommaso, for some reason, is a heel once again after being one of the hottest baby faces on the roster, and now both he and Gargano are heels again. But anyway, there was a really beautiful sequence where Kyle O'Reilly actually blocked Finn Balor stomping a mud hole in him, and then it turned into a Pele kick from Finn Balor, and then it turned into a Jon Moxley, like, rope hung lariat.
I saw that. He tried so hard. He almost fell out of the ring. He almost fell. He caught himself.
Poor guy.
He pulled it off. Like I was like, easy.
Yeah, it was like a variation of the Jon Moxley, or I refuse.
The wacky line.
I refuse to call it that. Just because it's so terrible of a name. There was a beautiful reversal out of the 1916 by Kyle O'Reilly into a guillotine choke, which I believe is his finisher, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. I think. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, he hit a brain buster right into the armbar, and I wrote down, my God, this match is stiff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, my God. Reverse 1916, 2 count. Balor is in a Kyle O'Reilly knee bar forever.
Yeah, the double heel hold that he had on him, that took a long time. Like Finn took a while on that sell.
Finn was favoring the knee after that, and I mean, well, Warren did for sure. Like, he was in that hold for a long, long time. He's favoring the knee. He outsmarts Kyle O'Reilly, eventually hitting a double foot stomp, but he's still selling the knee. Man.
Those double foot stomps right to the core at the end of the match.
Yeah.
Oh, he hit like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah, it was a beautiful sequence. It was a brutal sequence, and then Finn Balor hits the coup de grace for the 3 count eventually, and he retains the title. Was there any doubt? Finn Balor retains with his mouth bleeding and all, maybe with a broken jaw. My God, this was a war. I gave it like 4.25 stars out of 5. This was my favorite match of the night, personally.
This match was great, and I gave it 4 stars, but I couldn't help but feel like the ending kind of lacked. just the straight coup de grace and the win right there. I feel like the match could have gone on a little longer and just had a couple more near falls. I feel like it was going really, really, really well, but then the kind of ending kind of just, it kind of did come out of nowhere for me.
Yeah.
I like the match. It's a tie for match of the night for myself. I gave it around 4.25 as well. I liked it.
Yeah, I
It was
really
good.
enjoyed the match too. Yeah, I just wanted to point that aspect of it out. But no, this was fantastic, and I don't want this to be the last time we see Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly wrestle.
I don't think it will be. They shook hands at the end of the match. Like Finn Balor is like, "Hey, you've earned my respect, dude." And then we get the lame finish, and I almost wrote down.
Hold on.
What's up?
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the copyright logo, I kind of turned off the show. So this is gonna be a surprise to me.
Okay, so
Oh
basically,
my
what
god!
happened is
I knew it. When I turned it off, I was like, I'm getting DIY. I'm getting DIY senses. I'm like, I should not have turned that off.
No.
And you go on. Okay.
So
I'm
what
ready.
happened is they do the handshake gimmick, and then there was this big dude carrying Adam Cole out from the crowd as if he just beat him up in the
I
backstage
think his
area.
name is like Ridgeway or something.
Ridge
Oh
Holland.
no,
Ridge Holland.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I think Adam
Ridge
Cole's
Holland?
gonna feud with him.
Yeah. Ridge Holland.
No, he's supposed to feud with Cameron Grimes. That
I
guy
know.
is green as fuck.
Ridge Holland beat the shit out of Adam Cole in the backstage area, and he dumps him out on the floor in front of Kyle O'Reilly, who goes out to check on him. Roderick Strong is like begging for help, and no help comes until after the copyright logo comes up for some reason. But
Now I never know. Now I know. NXT never turn it off too early. They do that
Okay.
way too many times.
I don't like that they used this like guy who I've never seen before. I don't know how.
Real quick, Ridge Holland, I saw him wrestle twice on NXT UK in some squash matches. Pandemic happens, yada, yada. He's on NXT. They had him do like a match. He's supposed to start feuding with Cameron Grimes. Now he's in a feud with Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes, WWE. Pump
did
the brakes.
he did one match with Johnny Gargano, and he almost broke his damn neck during it. But
Yeah.
like,
Pump the brakes.
So I don't like who they're using, but I understand what they're doing.
This better not be another Lars Sullivan.
Think about it. They have taken Adam Cole out of the heavyweight picture like that.
Oh, yeah.
He has a feud now. He's not involved with the heavyweight picture because he was fresh. He's the longest reigning heavyweight champion. He had momentum. He could still go for that title. But now they pulled him out like it was nothing.
gave him something else to do.
I don't like who they chose to do it, but I see where they potentially are going.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely see where you're coming through with that. Again, I'm just it's who, just because I've seen Ridge Holland and he's not bad. I feel like that happens with a lot of wrestlers. Like I see them first, it's like, hey, they're not bad, but then you start pushing them and they're not ready, and you push them some more. It's like WWE, pump the brakes with this guy.
Hold
Vince
your
probably
horses.
has a hard on for him. Triple H probably showed Vince a picture of him. It's like, oh yeah, put the WWE Championship on right now. Drew who, and it's like, again, honestly, I'm getting Lars Sullivan vibes from this. Don't do that again.
I'm getting Baron Corbin 2015 vibes from this.
You know what? I'm going to say this right now. At least King Corbin has some talent. Lars Sullivan doesn't.
Throw in
Ridge
those.
Holland, give it an opportunity. But don't pump the brakes, WWE. You might be going a little too fast for this guy.
Yeah.
I don't want another Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan situation.
See, so Moss and I always like argue back and forth. I actually really liked that match. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Aleister Black whipped the Black Mass, and he was pissed after the match. Visibly pissed.
Fair. Yeah. Kris, what did you think of this match?
I liked the Finn O'Reilly match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the Finn O'Reilly match. It was It was a good main event. I like that Finn played the heel in it, giving O'Reilly the chance to play the babyface because I know they want to build him as a babyface. I like the handshake at the end was to keep Finn as a face. So you can you can switch gimmicks during a match. It's what you do after that keeps you as what you are.
Oh,
exactly.
So you can play. So, like, if I'm a face and I go against Zack, who's a face, but I'm like, all right, I'm going to be slightly more aggressive. Does that make me a heel?
Not exactly.
During the match? Sure.
That's why
just
face,
more aggressive.
Yeah. That's why face versus faces base matches work a hell of a lot more than heel versus heel.
It's
when
hard
heel
to
versus
make
heel,
a heel a good guy.
because when it's heel versus heel, when I used to say this when I was a kid, it's like, if, like, for example, JBL was fighting Kurt Angle, I would say, you know what? They can tear each other apart for all I care. I don't like either of them. But if John Cena is facing Batista, I'm like, oh, shoot, I like both of these guys. Who do I cheer for?
Yeah. Now I see why you guys were chastising me earlier about wanting Roman versus AJ at Hell in a Cell. But anyway, even though AJ can very easily turn babyface. But, yeah, this takeover, I mean, it had a lot of good matches on this show. I mean, it was
better than 30.
You think so? Well, yeah. I mean, in terms of
30.
quality, like, the main event of 30 sucked. Like, going back and watching that again, it was bad. But
but I thought it was very solid. It gets a solid 8 from me.
Give it about a 7.5, I think. It was there were a couple things that I didn't really enjoy, like Gargano plan not working. Like, but
yep.
To each their own. Any final thoughts on TakeOver, Kris?
Are you scaling from 1 to 10?
Yeah, 1 to 10.
If I ignore the women's title shot, I will give it a 7.5.
Women's title match?
If I do it with that terrible title to the headshot, I have to give it at least a 5.5.
Ooh!
I'm really salty about that.
Wow.
I'm really salty about it.
Damn.
Oh man, that one match just ruined the show for you. Like,
Kris basically has the entire AEW fan base on his side now.
man, full gear is coming up. Like, give us another lights out match. Lauren is gonna love watching all the mousetraps.
Ugh.
My goodness.
God.
My goodness.
Yeah, my goodness. But yeah, so I think that just about wraps it up. This was a really, really fun time on this little pod right here. Expect to see more of these wrestling pods, of course. You got Hell in a Cell coming up. I'm assuming Halloween Havoc is coming up also. Yeah, so after the big discussion we had about NXT, I'm thinking Halloween Havoc is coming. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, Halloween Havoc, Hell in a Cell, and, retros are coming up in addition to everything else I'm doing, trying to keep as busy as I can during the pandemic and all that. But thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. This was a fun little triple threat we had going on. And, yeah, so to my viewers, thank you all for tuning in. If you've made it this far, hit that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can on your way out. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. You're the best. Look out for more fun content very soon. With all that being said, Back Talk commence.